would be nice if Universal would re-release the movie again on a like a 5.1 and have that as a supplement disc, right?
Yeah.
We're working on it. We're working on it. Okay, you guys ready, Pittsburgh? You ready to bring down the man himself? I call this guy the king of rock opera. Let's go down the list here. He was in Hair. He was in The Who's Tommy. He was in the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's on Broadway. He opened the Universal Amphitheater with Carl Anderson in 1972 with Jesus Christ Superstar. Most recently, you may have seen him on the big screen in Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained. Did you guys see Django Unchained? Did you see Ted in it?
Yeah.
If you didn't see him, at the very end, he's one of the bad guys. He plays one of the trackers. At the end of the movie, Jamie Foxx blows his head off, which is method acting at its best, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for JC? You're going to make noise? Good name, Ted Neeley. We got a sold out night tonight here in Pittsburgh, Ted.
That's why we love Pittsburgh. And every time that I've had the pleasure of being in Pittsburgh, everybody has been so incredible to all of us. And on behalf of all of us, thank you. You're wonderful.
Well, first of all, before I forget, because it's been a rather long tour, this is the last screening that we're having on this leg of the tour. We started this in March in San Francisco, and we've been pretty much everywhere on this thing. It's like 35, 36 screenings, and they've all been great. We take a little break after this, and then we go and hit Texas, which is your home state, in a couple of weeks. But we always do this when we come to the theater. We always start, we want to get to know the audience. So, how many people here tonight, put your hands up, how many people here tonight have seen this movie, Jesus Christ Superstar? Okay, now hold on. How many people here tonight have never seen this movie, Jesus Christ Superstar? Put your hands up. A few, all right. We've been at about 80 to 20%. Seriously, there's been about 20% of the audience that have never seen it before. It's a great way to see it on the big screen for the very first time. Bob Bingham always wants to know.
Yeah, Bob Bingham, who played Caiaphas, when he's here, he will say, well, how many of you here tonight have been in a production of Jesus Christ Superstar?
All right.
Yeah. Oh, they're always here.
And you know a guy,
Daryl up there.
You know a guy up there who's actually on stage with you, right?
Yes. We have a wonderful gentleman here, Daryl Whitney, who toured with us. We did a 4-year tour of Superstar together, and he's blessing us with his appearance tonight. Daryl, thank you. And Daryl lives here in Pittsburgh, and he's all over everywhere performing shows constantly. So if you see that name, Daryl Whitney, with anything, go see him. He's magnificent.
All right, let's actually, before we start talking about the movie, we've had a very cool last week. Tell us about reuniting, that Ted's been trying to do this for years, reuniting the entire cast of Jesus Christ Superstar with the director Norman Jewison. So you accomplished that on Monday in New York City. Tell us about that experience.
Well, I must say honestly that Frank said I've been trying to do this for years, which is true, but I must tell you that I could not have accomplished it without my friend Frank Munoz. So please give him a round of applause. It was absolutely incredible, simply because we all made such dear friendships in the film. Most of us had worked together prior to Jesus Christ Superstar, either in Hair, or Tommy, or Sgt. Pepper, or other lesser-known projects. So we knew each other artistically. But when we all went to Israel Israel together, thanks to Norman Jewison choosing to do it in Israel, everything changed for the better because we had the added honor of being surrounded by the atmosphere in that country the whole time. And strangely enough, it wasn't as if we were going to the land of Oz. It was, we all went to this place to work in this film. Most of us had never been in a film before. Mr. Jewison could have taken us to any desert in any country, but he chose to take us all to Israel so we could feel that atmosphere. And what a difference it made for us to do this project. We felt, honestly, on a daily basis, that we were in the middle of a spiritual epiphany. Because no matter where we walked, we felt we were walking in someone's footsteps, and that contributed so much of a spiritual connection for all of us throughout the film. So being able to get all of us in the same room at the same time, and we had been together individually, all of us, somewhere, but this was the first time that we were together in the same room at the same time without Carl. Carl was there as he is today, spiritually. He's always with us. In fact, during the screening today, if at any moment you feel that kind of thing where the hair stands up on the back of your neck, that's Carl passing by. His angel wing will be touching you as he walks by. He's always here in spirit. So what we got to do that Monday night in New York was absolutely phenomenal. We all had our friends there, our families, our children, in some cases our grandchildren, all to celebrate this magnificent reunion, and we focused primarily on Norman Jewison, the man you just watched talk about this piece. Because we all believe, if it were not for Norman Jewison, this might never have been made into a film. It was the first ever rock opera committed to film, and Norman, as he said in this piece, heard it, instantly felt he could make a film of this project. So he called friends of his at Universal Studios, because the first album was on Decca Records, which is a subsidiary of Universal Studios. And he called the CEO and said, I would like to purchase the underlying film rights to this album, Jesus Christ Superstar. I want to make a film. And the man from Universal said, Norman, what is it and what do we have to do with it? He didn't know about it. He didn't know his company had an album that had the possibility of being turned into a film. Now there's no disrespect to the executive at Universal, it's just that there's such a delineation between rock music and feature films. None of the studios at the time had any thought about doing anything on film of the rock operas, and certainly The Who's Tommy preceded Superstar, and it had not gone to that level either. So we all have to thank Norman Jewison for giving us the opportunity. We got to do that on Monday, and Frank and I are doing our best today to show you at least the film version of what we experienced, and I cannot tell you how happy I am that you're all here. Thank you.
I know you were hiding up there watching the movie with Daryl, that little short film. What goes through your head when you see you and Carl there playing football in Israel? And you tackle him?
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you that we didn't even know this particular project was in existence, what we saw, until the night before I sat down with Norman to invite him to New York for this reunion. And it started whenever I had the pleasure of going to Italy last year to do Jesus Christ Superstar live there in Italy. And I was the only non-Italian in the company. Everybody else was Italian. Here I am, a rock and roll drummer from Texas, trying to look like I know something about the world, and I was just doing this role. So it was an absolutely amazing experience. And the media got really involved, and one of the people who gave me an opportunity of a great interview was this lovely journalist from the Netherlands. And we talked, and when we finished the interview, she said she had just recently heard of a 90-minute documentary. It was done